Hey guys, I'm Skyris TCG, and we have a very interesting game that happened at my locals the other week. We have Spright on the right and Runick on the left, and I believe the Runick player won the dice roll. And you can see the players are drawing their 5, and let's get into the game. It is a very interesting matchup. It is a control matchup versus a more combo-y, grindy deck, and I both do believe that they're both the pure variants of their decks, which is pretty cool to see as well. You see a Runick tip come down. Search your deck for a Runick card, which is pretty awesome, and then you banish top card of your opponent's deck. Probably one of the best openings you'd want. I believe that's the protection spell. It's blue off the top. It's pretty cool. The less resources Spright have, the better your matchup's going to be. He's hard drawing the fountain. Proceeds to activate. I believe that is freezing to, or it could be flashing fire actually, to summon Munin. Potentially, yep, we're probably going to see a Chainlink 1 Fountain, Chainlink 2 Munin. That way you can play around Ogre, considering there was no Ash Blossom on the tip. You can assume that much at least. What are we going to discard? We're going to discard Mystic Mine. Okay, so the Spright player will have to think about any set cards that are placed down. Might have to play around Mystic Mine, who knows. Grabs the Continuous spell. The card's pretty cool. When either player activates a quick play spell, banish top card of your opponent's deck. Just pretty funny because you can get some pretty good hits. See a 1 day of peace as well. This one's pretty spicy. Both players draw a card. Runick player will not take any damage until the end of the next turn. Gains 1,000 life points off of Munin and passes. Spright player with 7 cards in hand. So what they do, they activate E-Telly. Emergency teleport. We go Gamma. Yep, nice. I can't see how many cards the Runick player has in his hand, but it's red off of the emergency teleport. That's 2 resources down. That's pretty good. It's not Carrot though, which is Carrot and the frogs are what you kind of want to be hitting. Summon Jet. Jet probably going to search Smashes. No? Search a starter. Okay. Means probably doesn't have blue. Because probably Smashes against on the field spell is really good. But they also just might have it in hand. We then see the starter come down. More likely summoning blue, unless they already have blue. No, yep, we see the blue. I think they're debating whether or not they can do that or not, but Spright starter does say lose life, whereas 1 day apiece says deals damage. So you'll be able to special summon the blue and you'll take 1100. Unres will also see a banish as well. So he hits Ronin. Oh, he's still on Toad using 2 swaps, but the Ronin does take out a bit of the grindiness of the game. Blue will resolve and probably go grab Carrot if they're playing it. Yep. Card's very good against this matchup. It's definitely priority number 2 in my opinion, because you probably want to get smashes. But see Carrot come down, maybe a Link summon or summon of a gigantic Spright. What are we gonna do? It's looking pretty good for the Spright player at the moment. No interruptions from the Runick player yet. Relay for gigantic, okay. Activating its effect. We see some retaliation. Yes? No? Maybe so? If they have interaction, you do have to do it now. In saying that, they haven't normal summoned yet, so that could be scary. Activates the protection spell, so the first time it'd be destroyed, it's not destroyed. I'm probably doing this just to get some spells engraved to draw some cards, and then you're gonna chain something else, it seems. They have the curses. So this is going to 100% get negated by Carrot. Yes, very cool. Also means thus still banish quite a few cards off the top. So resolve this. This will get rid of 2, I believe. 3. I guess there's a swap frog gone. Resolve the gigantic. Probably going to go get swap frog because Toad in this matchup makes things a lot easier. So Toad, and we see Fountain targeting 2 engraved to draw 2 cards. It's pretty good. It's a response. Maybe they do have the smash. They have the smashes. They have the smashes for the field spell. I believe they're just trying to work out whether or not the continuous spell triggers as well, which will trigger for 2. And we can see the smashes come down. This will hurt a lot of the grind game of the Runick player. Not getting those draws. See a response. That's the Popper Spell Trap one. Destruction, I think it's called. I think they're just doing that to get... I actually don't know why they're doing that, but it does seem like they hit another frog, I believe. Banishes the Carrot. I don't know about that one, but doesn't look like... Are you gonna resolve this swap frog? They should resolve the swap frog now. No, looks like they're going to be banishing the top 2 off. You're supposed to send off the swap frog, and they've hit the last swap frog now. So, swap frog will probably be sent from the field to the graveyard. There is a D barrier on the top of Spright player's banish pile. It's probably not a good sign. They also didn't detach with gigantic, but that's okay. The not sending off of the swap frog will probably be bad for the Runick player, but it's all good. But yeah, the D barrier is interesting. The set could be a floodgate. I hope with any luck, because they might be able to set up a couple pieces of interaction. Maybe attack over the Munin. I don't know. You'd have to make a 3200 gigantic to do that, but it also can't be destroyed once per turn, so maybe it's a little bit harder to out. They go for the elf. Interesting. Toad is gone. They can never summon Toad. Card is literally never going to be played this game, unfortunately. Let's see. Maybe the Runick player has just noticed that as well. So that D barrier though. It's spicy if it's a main deck card, but I very much doubt it is. Bring back the Jet with Elf. Probably going to see an IP. It is looking pretty grim for both players. Although I do think the Spright player still has 3 cards in hand. So they're definitely in a better position. Yeah, kind of just contemplating what to do. If I play IP, I think that's just the line. Yep, some IP. It does kind of lose to top deck Mystic Mine, but not a lot else kind of does. I believe that's Destruction targeting this set. Yep. I'm going to chain it, negate Munin. They also are supposed to get 1,000 life points, which I think they've just realized now. That resolves. Banish the top 4, and then I'll banish 2 more. The deck is looking pretty low. Not too sure. I guess the yep. Yeah, no, I've realized they didn't decide. And it's a rough way to lose a game, but we're gonna head on to game 2 now. Both sides, Spright player going first. I wonder what sort of cards we'll see from both players' sides. Yeah. I think it can get pretty hard for pure Runick to play through just the normal Spright board without any side deck cards. Kind of need the perfect hand of like Fountain, Q-Tip, and just more or less like 5 Mystery cards or Runick cards. Grab the smashes, starting out blue, grab Carrot, Gigantic, for Frog. This is just the normal board. We'll have Carrot and the smashes, so it's going to be pretty hard for the Runick player to play through all this. 1 card left in hand for the Spright player. Lava Golem. That's going to get rid of 2 important interruptions. And follow-up even, because I don't know if they added follow-up, but the total will get them back the swap frogs. So they'll have something. And Pankratops. Oh my lord. They've just drawn every side deck card. And they're going to battle phase and attacking Carrot. They've almost outed the entire board. They just need to get rid of the smashes. I don't reckon they'll 50-50 the smashes though. I believe that's fire. I'm getting the girl one. I believe that one adds the field spell on summon. Discarding another lava golem, so they literally drew all the side deck cards. It's got a really cool replacement effect too, which is really nice. 2 cards left in hand. If they have another Runick spell, could go in pretty hard here. They do still have to play around the smashes though, so if they had Destruction they probably should have activated it beforehand. They do have the search spell, which probably meant that they could have played around the smashes, could have 50-50'd it. Yes, swap frog in hand. We'll probably see Destruction to pop one of the back row. You do have to be concerned that if you do just pass turn, you could just lose all your interaction except for Pankratops. I believe that was Freezing Curses. There's a hand trap. We haven't seen one from the Spright player yet. Cosmic Cyclone on the field spell. Doesn't even need the smashes. they're not going to get any draws. Does mean that we know that the last set card is Smashes. And then they're just going to set 2 and pass the turn. Could have been worse, honestly, for the Spright player. But it looks like the Runick players... Oh, that's not going to do anything because of the fusion monster. But yeah. They are set up, pretty set up. It also gets out of the extra monster zone, which is very handy. So it means that they can now get some resources back with maybe the dog. Maybe the dog only adds back field spells. I don't remember. See the Swap Frog being normaled. Sending Swap Frog. They still have Ronin Engrave, I believe. So this could be a pretty big turn if they last card in their hand is a Spright monster. It looks like they're kind of just thinking about what they want to be doing. Maybe trying to look at some interaction. In case they're playing two-toed, which is very, very, very unlikely, but you never know at locals, honestly. Just familiarizing themselves with some of the effects of the frog cards, all not once per turn, all can do pretty crazy things. But yeah, this matchup is so far playing out pretty decently on both sides. We'll see what happens here. Maybe has a floodgate or something, I'm not too sure. Can't really do much because if they could just make elf, which it looks like that's exactly what they're doing now. Yeah, elf bring back the blue, and then blue does the whole Spright thing, which is pretty cool. Maybe a freezing curses. We could see a freezing curses. That is exactly what we see. So it's going to negate the elf. May or may not have been worth trying to do something else first, maybe? I guess you Pankratops the gigantic anyway, so you probably can't do that. And you just get really punished if you summon it under elf, because then it just gets negated, and then you chain the Pankratops. Last card in their hand was Starter, so that's a pretty good one. I believe we're about halfway through the round now, so time is dwindling. Blue's gonna go get probably Jet, keep the resources going. There's not many cards left, only about half, just under half of what's left in the deck. That's red. Interesting. Maybe it doesn't have any starters left. Because there would be 2 in the graveyard, and maybe they banish 1 as well. But that will be pretty good because it will stop the Pankratops. Maybe it's just worth doing that first even, that way you can stop the Pankratops from blowing up a gigantic. Oh. Yeah, this is a big decision. You can... There's nothing really good to chain now, you kind of just have to hope that they can out it. Pot smashes, which is pretty cool. But that's just going to get chained, and it's gonna... Banishing the elf, that's probably not the greatest, because that means that there is no elf left unless they play 3. Which I don't know if this duelist does. Yeah. What do you end on? Can't really kill them. They are left. I think they have one or two cards left in hand. The Runick player. You probably could have ended on Jim Buster or something, but that doesn't just stop them getting some recursion. You got red for that though, so you don't really need it. The only card you're really scared of is Mystic Mine. Because you don't really want them to have like 5 sets by the time you get your Cosmic Cyclones, which we did see in the main deck in game 2. Probably sided out some hand traps that weren't particularly good, like Imperm or something, even knowing they're pretty good against Mutant and Hugin. Yes, the longer you make the decision, the less time they'll have, because even if Spright does win this game, they will have to try and power through game 3. And because of Hugin, game 3 without evenly matched can be quite difficult. We're seeing a Link summon here, I think. Got a Dark, which is interesting. See a Ronin. An IP. I don't think there has any Darks in graveyard for the Dark to use its effect. But I'm just going to Battle Phase. I think they have more damage before the IP actually. Can't imagine it matters too much, I guess. Draws for turn. Missing Mine? No, just a set card. End of main phase IP effect. What are you summoning? Avramax. I can imagine that'd be pretty hard for the Runick players to out, but I don't know. I don't think it's game either, just attacking. I believe it only took like 3,000 last turn, so it's be just another 4. Looks like they are going to block an attack. And they are in fact going to block the red attack, I think that was. Sets 1, doesn't really want to. Doesn't really look like they want to set. They're just passing? Okay. Oh no, they are setting. Alright. Getting 1,000, that's gonna help. There's next to no resources on both players' ends. Here's another 1,000. That's just randomly a good effect. Someone's another red. I can't imagine it's worth it. I think you just leave them in attack mode. There's no point on X-easing. Might as well just... Centuria is funny. Means that you can go into Zeus, which does checkmate your opponent. So maybe this is correct. Goes 3,000 and passes. What if he drew Mystic Mine? Maybe it was like a Cosmic or something set. Moving to game 3. Runick gets to go first, which is very scary because God knows what stuff will be sided in to counteract what the Spright player is doing. I can't imagine too much has changed in the Spright main deck. Maybe there's some cards because I've seen in siding that they might choose to play around, but yeah, we'll see. I'm not actually familiar with that one, but I think they're just summoning from the extra deck anyway. I'm going to add the field spell, and if they have another name, I can draw 3 cards here, which is pretty crazy. Oh my lord. He's gonna search 1 and then draw 3, so he's going to go plus, I think plus 3, but 3 new cards in hand, which is really scary. Banishes another red, which we did see that they played 2, so that's not too crazy. But really only hitting engine pieces, which is really what you want to see if you're the Runick player. You don't really want to be hitting random ham traps, which, by the way, Spright player has not drawn this entire match. So he's a set 2, 4 cards in hand. Activate starter. Can't remember what he grabbed off of the tip, but I imagine it was probably some form of interaction. Someone's blue, takes 1100, which is really scary because I think there's like about 7 or so minutes left in time. Can't imagine this game ending in that time period. We've got tip. That's channeling 2. Maybe a response? No. Maybe. Chain T-Sibu. Oh no. This is going to be really rough. We're going to need some side deck cards because Jet cannot be summoned at the moment. Hit an Ogre. Oh god. Not too sure what I'd do. I always like the startering out Jet in these slower matchups, just so you can get smashes. Or you could just be a Chad and just draw the smashes, which is one way you can play the matchup, just draw the good cards. Really random, but it looks like they're just destroying that. Banishing the Ronin turn again. I guess, yes. Now, that actually makes a lot of sense. Yes, smashes will resolve. Which does mean that just got a normal summon of Carrot. This is looking pretty grim. I think there's 3 cards in hand. None of them seem to be Cosmic Cyclone. Harvest the Duster won't do anything. It'll actually just free up the extra deck slots so they can go ahead and get some more recursion going. They definitely have more interaction because they didn't use Fountain. So they're probably waiting. Yes, it goes back to the extra deck. Yes, it's a pretty cool resource thing you can do. Setting 2 cards. I have 4 cards in hand, okay. And passing. Do you Fountain here? Yes. Yes, there's no reason not to Fountain. Summon Munin? Yep, yep. Munin, I believe, will still gain you 1,000 life points, and you will draw 3 cards off of the fountain. And we're gonna go get the continuous spell as well. I think Chainlink 2ing the Munin that time probably wasn't worth it, just because you kind of want to draw Kip and stuff again, but might feel pretty comfortable. I mean, there is like maybe 4 or so minutes left. Draws and has 6 cards in hand, 5 cards in hand. Exactly where you want to be if you're the Runick player. You can now activate your continuous spell, and honestly just and Fisher, I believe it is, Dimension Fisher. Not as good in this matchup, but it's 2 floodgates are in fact better than 1. And that's a Storm. I think it's just Banish for the top. Nice. You're just hitting more Spright cards. Draw 2 more cards. Yeah, the resources are just kind of just going now. I don't know if there's... And a Majesty's Fiend. Yep, they freed up the zones, so they'll be able to activate more spell cards to draw more cards. There's also just, I think there's only 2 minutes in time now. I don't know how you get out of this. You can actually Harpy's Feather Duster now, which is kind of relevant. So if you're holding on to the Duster... Oh no, actually they can just chain the spell card. Finish another card off the top. Yeah, if they just chain any spell card, they're fine. Is that evenly matched? Oh, that was a good hit. Typhoon. Interesting tech choice. Is technically an out to Mystic Mine. It's probably their draw for turn, and yep, it looks like we can see the Special Summon of the Huge in play. That way you can use the replacement effect. Yep. It's going to be destroyed because it doesn't activate, and Majesty's Fiend doesn't work on it. Banish another card. I think we're about 50-60 seconds left. It's pretty rough considering they did gain 1,000 life points, and Spright player did lose 1,100. Summon of the Almirage. Probably just giving up at this point. There's not much you can do. All you can really do is have Imperm, Harpies, starter, honestly. Normal Summon of Jet. There'll be no battle phase. Oh, you can attack the Majesty's Fiend because it was drop loaded. But how are you gonna... The fish are actually coming in clutch here, because I don't know if there's any monsters in that Elf can bring back. Not that they can bring back Swap Frog. Not that they can bring back Spright cards. I think we're coming up to time now, yeah. And that's game.